Hello guys, welcome to your next energy update reading. And what Spirit wanted to talk to you about today is the Devil card. And even though it's the Devil card, it's one of the most feared cards in a tarot deck. Don't be afraid, because Spirit has a reason why it wants to talk to you about it. And basically the Devil card meaning is talking about all sorts of forms of addictions in the end. Addictions we have in life, for instance, like when we in our free time choose to watch in an addictive way TV or series. We stream a lot instead of maybe working on finding a new job, let's say. But it could be any kind of addiction, any kind of toxicity in life, and that we feel bound to, even though we are not really bound to, but we have the tendency to feel that we cannot get out of it. And I think Spirit in the end wants to tell you how it wants to point out what the addiction is for you. Maybe this is going to get very detailed here, we will see. And first of all, I will lay out all the oracle cards I have. I think it's 5 or 6 oracle cards at the beginning. And then we are going deeper into the meaning with the tarot decks. And for group number 1, I have the Devil card from the Modern Witch Tarot deck. I had to put some tape over the buttons of the figures here for YouTube. This is how the card for group number 1 looks like. And for group number 2, we will have the Devil card from, it's called a Totally Unofficial Adventure Time tarot deck by Catherine Hillier. And this is how this little monster looks like. Don't be afraid. I will also show you how the cards look like for group number 1. These are some other cards in the deck, so that you get an idea of how it's drawn. It's the Sun card, or the Queen of Pentacles over here. That's how it looks like. And for group number 2, these are basically just some cute little monster cards, kind of like Halloween style. Some a bit scary, most of them are actually kind of cute. That's why I bought them. Yeah, so take your time. You can always pause the video if you need more time to choose, and you can also watch both piles. That's there's no restriction here on this channel that you only take the pile that you only one pile, I mean. And if you feel drawn to both of them, maybe you should watch both, but it's up to you. And but if you take both of them, then start with the one that sticks out most for you to watch first. That's the only recommendation I can give here. Yeah, so that's it, and I see you in your reading. Hello, my group number 1, welcome to your reading. So you chose this Devil card here from the Modern Witch Tarot, and I will put it on the side here for this reading, and we will start with your oracle card. So we have here, the first card is the Heart card. Interesting, the Heart card is usually talking about some area that you can go to or place you can visit to connect with your heart. It could be also a memory that you have. Maybe it's needed for you to connect there to overcome some devil energy. But let's see. Then we have the Flowers card. It says, working with flowers opens your heart and brings blessings to others through your life purpose. Okay, so maybe it has something to do with your life purpose here. And we also have flowers here in this little nest on this Heart card. We have some flowers over here and over here. Yeah, let's see. So maybe you need to surround yourself with beauty in nature. Yeah, Okay. Oh, wow. Then we have another flower card. It says, flower, be honest with yourself. And you know what's interesting? That both ladies have red hair. They have long red curly hair. And red and orange is this energy here also in this devil card with the fire. Kind of something has, there's something inside of you, some kind of fire energy that's like going into the wrong direction maybe, and you need to kind of like get yourself out of there by going out. I have the feeling somehow, because all of those three cards already talk about nature and being out there in nature. Even she is lying in the grass surrounded by flowers, and here the people here in this card, the feminine and the masculine and the devil, they are kind of like in an empty black space. So kind of like they're in the dark or they're inside, and here everything is happening outside. So I guess there's already like a connection to nature needed. And we have this beautiful jaguar, and even here we have these flowers, these pink flowers over here in the card. Maybe it's a tiger, but no, a tiger has stripes. So this should be a jaguar. But the way she's standing here is like a proud tigress or some kind of like a lady jaguar energy. To me it seems like a feminine cat here, kind of like a feminine, yeah, animal. So maybe the feminine energy is toxicated. Okay, what do we have here? The lizard and pitcher plant, and it says stagnation. Oh wow, so it's all, again, it's some flowers we have. They're just a bit weird looking. And I know about these flowers that they eat meat, they eat insects. The same as the lizard. The lizard also eats insects, and I think this lizard has some kind of like danger to him. Maybe it's a poison, toxic lizard because of the stripes. And this plant definitely is, I mean, this plant needs the insects, and it has some kind of like honey smell to it, so that the insects, they feel drawn to it, just like this toxic devil energy in the end. And it's not the fault of this plant, that's the way this plant is working, but the insects will fall into this trap with this plant and also with the lizard. And it says here stagnation. So maybe you are you stagnated, something in your life stagnated here, and it's hard for you to get out of it, because like, even the insects, if they want to get out of it, if they want to fly out of it, they have a long, very dangerous way to find themselves out of this plant here. You are somehow stuck inside somewhere. You're stuck inside, and you feel that there's danger around, maybe in form of this lizard, could be. But what Spirit is saying, that you need to focus on the beauty around you. There's a lot of beauty in nature around, and you should get yourself out there and become more this tigress energy. I know it's a jaguar probably, but I will just I don't know what the female name of a female jaguar is. That's why I say tigress. So then we have the Moonology card, the prosperity lies ahead. That's nice. And then new moon in Taurus. So since this is a timeless reading, maybe you need to Google this yourself when there's the next new moon in Taurus. By the time, I don't know when I will post this video, if I will post it this week or next week. So yeah, you should Google it up yourself when the next new moon is exactly, and what astrological sign it is, because it could be that if you do all that, what I just said, then prosperity will be there by the time of the new moon in Taurus. Okay, well, let's just wait with the tarot cards for a second and look at those cards now. Yeah, we have some green energies here with the nature and getting out there, getting outside, find your heart and a connection to the things that you love, and probably it's something maybe connected to beauty. Maybe there was something, maybe you need to remember something you did as a child that was connected to flowers, literally, because since we have the flowers here twice, maybe there is something in your life connected to flowers. Maybe you you like to draw, and most of the things you draw are flowers and plants, or you make some kind of art with it or around it, or there's some kind of music, and you usually get inspired or used to get inspired by nature, and Spirit is advising you to remember that. It doesn't have to be your profession, it could be a hobby. But there's some need for you here to be honest with yourself, and I guess, like even this jaguar lady here, the jaguar is the fastest animal, I think, on Earth, or at least on land. I think the killer whale might be the fastest in water, and the jaguar is probably the fastest or one of the fastest animals on land. But in this picture it's not running, it's standing still and it's watching something. It's kind of like gazing or thinking, somewhat walking, but it's like, yeah. So it does make sense that there's some kind of stagnation here, maybe some kind of fear around what would be out there. What if I go out there, maybe there could be some toxic lizard here, some evil flowers, something that promises something beautiful, but then in the end it's toxic again. Somehow it's some things are some kind of addictions maybe. But I think if you overcome this, that's what I think, that's not what Spirit says at the moment, but that's what I think here, is that when you overcome those things, you are getting closer to your prosperity. Yeah. Maybe you need to wait things out, it could be too, but and it is I think it's mostly for the most people who watch this video, it's connected to your purpose in life, and this purpose is connected to your abundance, to your wealth. Okay, let's see what the tarot cards are saying. So we have the Nine of Cups here. Okay. Let's see how she is sitting here. She is kind of like, I mean, the meaning of the Nine of Cups is that we are out with friends, having a good time, and we are just one cup before we reach the Ten of Cups, total fulfillment and happiness. And you can read her pose as being satisfied, but in this reading it gives me the feeling, it gives me the vibe, just by when I interpret this picture, that she's kind of like fed up with the situation. You know, the way she's sitting here is kind of like, what is there? What else is there to come? I've seen it all. I've been there. I've done that. And what now? At least I get that vibe here. But let's see. Oh yeah, that makes sense. The Lover's card. The Lover's card. Okay, the Lover's card is, like I said at the beginning of both readings, I think I said it. The Lover's card is like the opposite of the Devil card. And while in the Devil card, the people are unable to make a decision and they blindly follow the Devil, in the Lover's card, and they are forming a triangle. The feminine and the masculine aspect in you are forming a triangle with the divine, and through this they are able to make a decision in life, any decision, and they're able to make this decision based on the matters of the heart. And here we have the heart again. Yeah, so whenever you go out there or reconnect with your heart, then you can overcome this devil energy. I mean, this is very clear here what it's talking about now. Let's see. Okay, the Nine of Swords. I think you're coming out of this Nine of Swords energy. Here we also have flowers. This is interesting, you know. There are not necessarily a lot of flowers in this deck, but in this card, it's like the bedsheet cover is also again with pink roses. Huge roses, huge flowers, and it gives me the feeling of no matter how many grief you have at the moment, or you used to have with the Nine of Swords, you do have a blanket, you have some kind of shell, or like here, some kind of nest that you can go to. You can cover yourself up with it. Just open your eyes, you know. If she would open her eyes, she's so much in her head, she's only thinking about the swords, but if she would open her eyes, she would see this beautiful blanket here with the flowers. Interesting. Yeah, and then we have the Queen of Swords with, I remember the last two cards, they came out together. So I'll put them over here. And it's the Queen of Swords and the Page of Cups. Yeah. The Queen of Swords is holding the 10th sword that is missing here to fulfill this path. The path of the swords, the journey. I mean, and it's starting again with the Ace of Swords, but she is kind of like holding all the wisdom she gains from the Nine of Swords and in the end of the 10 of Swords, and then she's picking one sword to start her journey again, but now in the with the attitude and the state of being a queen, because she learned from all the cycle here. And the Page of Cups is referring to the aspect in the Queen of Cups, the heart aspect. Even though she's usually depicted as the queen, the kind of like no bullshit queen, they usually say about the Queen of Cups, but even the Queen of the Queen of Swords, I'm sorry, but even the Queen of Swords has all of her emotions and all of her aspects. You need the aspect of the mind, of the brain aspects, the logic and clarity, and you need the aspects of the heart, you need the aspects of all the 5 elements in the end to gather inside yourself, inside your vessel, you could say, as a human being, to be able to make judgments and to be able to know where life is leading you and to follow that path. And you can do it by just being very strict, but you can also do it by being kind, like the Page of Cups. And she is kind of like inviting this Page of Cups here into her life. She's able to let the Page of Cups come into her life now. Yeah. And also the Page of Cups is holding the 10th cup that was missing here in the 9 of Cups. And we have 2 9 cards. Those 2 9 cards now get filled up with the last sword and the last cup to complete those cycles here. Because you connected to your heart, and even this divine angel, I think it's Angel Gabriel, is holding their hands over the heart to symbolize this heart aspect. Yeah, so I think Spirit wants to tell you that there is something going wrong, or used to go wrong, with your fire energy. There was too much fire in your life. That's why she has this red hair here too. That sometimes we need a lot of fire energy. Sometimes it's great, but sometimes there's also some orange energy here in those plants. It's toxic. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's dragging us down. And here in this card it says stagnation. So in your case, you maybe stagnated. You couldn't move beyond that. You couldn't use the fire to your advantage. It was more like used to make you be addicted to something. It forced you to follow to some kind of like evil, let's say, evil, on an evil path, maybe. And I think in the end that prosperity lies ahead, but it's still not there yet, but you're close. And the darkness of the moon here is the darkness that is in those two cards here. But the Devil card is always talking about situations where we are addicted, but we can always step out of it. It's not this kind of addiction where that is leading to the finite end. It's an addiction that we can always pull ourselves out. And addiction could be anything. Could be addiction towards a person, addiction towards a certain toxic habit that becomes toxic because you do it so much that it's a bit, you kind of overdo it. Maybe there are also fears around the nighttime. I have the feeling, because the first time that I see a Lover's card with the night sky, city that's sleeping here, and here we also have a night. This scenery is usually dark in the Nine of Swords, and it's usually with the this typical nightmares we have when we sleep. But we need to get out of the dark here. Spirit is saying, like, get out there and into the light, and look at the flowers, look at the beauty around you outside, and remember something from your past that you used to do, or people you used to be with, that had a strong connection to your heart, that made your heart feel a bit more fulfilled. It's like here with those two people in the boat. It's like a memory, a very nostalgic memory maybe. But this memory, or whatever happened here, was connected to something in the universe, some kind of life force giving thing here. And maybe you were doing this at one time. If it's talking about relationships, it could be that you have this memory, you already experienced something like this, but then you stagnated in life with that experience. Something came to an end here, and you're kind of lost. You don't know where to go, even though there are the flowers and the beauty is all around you. Just need to look around and do it, and then you will find your prosperity again. But there's something that you need to look at inside of you, some kind of matter of the heart that you need to be honest with here. You need to maybe even lay down somewhere outside in nature, or in a beautiful garden and you just sit somewhere or lay down on the grass and admit some things to yourself. Maybe you need to admit things where you were wrong and you always thought you were right, but your unconscious knew, no, you are wrong in that matter. Maybe there was some way you thought about a certain person here or some people, and you always think you're right in this aspect, but the Spirit is saying, well, you think you're right, but please take a moment and realize where you were wrong. In order to be able to get through it and then to be able to move on again and to get out of the stagnation. Yeah. So this is what I see here for you. Pile number 1. I hope this was helpful, and please let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any ideas for new readings, some topics that you want to hear about, let me know and I might get back to it whenever I read it. And I hope you will have a beautiful day now, and I hope you will find a moment during this week to get outside and to look at the beauty around, to connect with nature, or to call out on some people that you used to talk to, and to open your heart again. And to get out of any stagnation or nightmare situation in life. To be able to use those past memories, those past things for your advantage now, and to use it to be this Queen of Swords here. Yeah. So this is what I have for you. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day, and I see you in your next reading. Bye bye. Hello group number 2, welcome to your reading. So you chose this Devil card. I will put it on the side here. And then let's check out your Oracle cards. So the first card, and then the Tarot cards. Would I put them over here? So at first you have the Threat. Okay, the thread. The thread is like the thread that we are unable to find, even though it is always there inside of some dark, cloudy chaos around us. And if we are able, we are always able, but sometimes we can't. We seem not to be able to. If we, in all this chaos, maybe in all this devil energy, we need to find this thread to be able to get to the rainbow over here. Yeah, to the better side in life, to like living. I can see already that your energy is that you feel surrounded by some kind of darkness or maybe toxicity here, and you're like unable to find this thread in life that is leaving you out of it or through it. But Spirit is already saying here, yeah, it is there. It's just a bit much darkness around, so that you are unable to see it. Okay. And then we have here books. You connect to your life purpose through your involvement with books. Interesting, yeah. Group number 2 sometimes has this book and literature thing going on, and there's oftentimes bookshelves in the back of some pictures here. Okay, maybe you are dealing, maybe you are a writer, or you want to become a writer, or you're writing texts in general. Could be a journalist, or publishing books. Could be any kind of craft books, comic books, or graphic novels and artistic books. It could also be newspapers in the end, and there's some kind of life purpose you are having here connected to this medium. Okay. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce it. Villain, I think. Villain, you can always rewrite the story. Okay, I think there is some... okay, wait. Let me see. Yeah, there's some kind of like old music playing here. Kind of like old music, and you need to rewrite it somehow. It's kind of like stories that are coming up again and again. Things people say, some kind of like old tape, the way you live your life. And it's like an old tape you listen to again and again. And you feel like unable... Well, the villain is, I think it's a person, I think, that is connected to devil, you could say, like someone who is like trying to fool you, I think. Yeah, I think that's what it was, or something similar to that. People want to fool you, and maybe you have a lot of those kind of people around you, and maybe they brought you to a place in life where you feel like unable to get out of, but Spirit is giving me an answer here, one of the answers so far, to go back to your main purpose in life and rewrite your own life story in the end, since you're probably a writer or are connected to texts and books. Maybe you should not just read what's in there, maybe you should take all the knowledge and rewrite some path here, or some path. Yeah, there's a path too. Here in the animal zoo cards we have this two little children on this path watching the squirrel jumping out of the bushes, out of the flower tulips. Yeah, maybe you should jump out of whatever you are in at the moment and just go on and follow your path. You know what's interesting? Like the book's material is made out of leather, the outside sometimes, old books. But these days, the inside and the outside is made of paper, and paper is made out of trees in the end. And here we have the trees, so go deep into your paperwork. Maybe kind of, that's what it says. And then we have the wolf and rose hip, and the word is guardianship. And I remember this card being a card of leadership in the end. Getting into the wolf energy of, even though the wolf energy here reminds me also of the devil, you know, the darkness around, and there's also a lot of fear around wolves. But maybe it's saying here, get into the devil energy yourself, like become this kind of brave, maybe connecting to your evil side for a bit. Not to be mean to other people, that's not what I'm saying, but somehow sometimes people are too nice and they need to, you need to rewrite your story to be able to go on your path and take on lead here somehow. Okay, and then we have a win-win outcome is forecast. Full moon in Libra. Okay. So if you follow this path, then a win-win outcome is forecasted for you. And there's some kind of, not judgment, but what is it called? It's called I forgot the name of this tarot card with this thing here, like the court card, where you are at court, and when the universe is kind of like giving you what you were working on, like giving you a reward for those things, either taking something or giving you something. It depends on how much you worked on yourself. So a win-win outcome is forecast. So I see you in interaction with others here in this reading, because you can only have a win-win. Because so far I thought it's about only you getting out of some maybe perspective and then getting on a new path, but now we have leadership here, guardianship. Yeah, to take the lead, you need to get out and take the lead, not let others lead you in a toxic, evil way. Take on the lead yourself, and then create a win-win situation with someone else or a group of people. Okay, so let's see. And I also remember I had a bit more tarot cards here than usual. So we have the Emperor here. And look, that's also interesting, the Devil and the Emperor here. Again, we have leadership here with the Emperor. And both figures are sitting on top of their throne. But this is more in an evil way, and this is like in a very like having it all together way. Even though he's sitting in kind of some chaos, you know, some chaos around him with some cassette tapes. Maybe you are connected to music somehow in your business too, or recording. It reminds me of people, the journalists used to tape an interview on a little tape machine with little cassettes inside back in the days. And since I said journalism, text writing and listening to old tapes and remember things, and here we have also this chaos card, the thread, finding your he's holding like this red, I don't know how it's called in the end, I'm sorry. It's like a sword. Like his red leadership sword, and here this hand is reaching out to the red thread in life to follow. And here you have this energy now. Here it's still in chaos, and here you have it. It's interesting that it's also underneath this card. Then we have the Two of Wands. It's a very funny one. Funny, Two of Wands. Two of Wands usually talks about, feeling the need of making a decision, but here this figure is having fun with it. The cucumbers here. And then we have the Judgment card. And you know what's funny with the Judgment card here? For some reason I thought about like a PlayStation joystick or some Nintendo joystick thing. It feels like being in play mode maybe. Reminds me on my Nintendo Switch, stuff like that. I never saw it like that. It looks like a weird flute he's playing down to the people who are in the grave here. Yeah, maybe there's some very old ideas, some old books and stuff you need to pick out of the shelf and read and get some knowledge and inform yourself. But let's see. Then we have the King of Coins. Beautiful. The King of Coins is a very abundant, the most abundant king of all the kings. And the Judgment is like the moment, it seems like, after you stepped into your Emperor energy. And you see he's also surrounded by some little devil and monstrous creatures, but he is the king now. He himself. He doesn't get ruled by all the devils, he is ruling them. So he is ruling, he knows how to control his own emotions. And he does not let his emotions control him. Then we have the Ace of Swords. Very beautiful also. It's interesting. Usually the Ace of Swords is drawn like as a single ace somewhere up in the sky, with a crown on top of the on top of the sword. But here we have a king, some kind of king, holding this sword. So again, an emperor, king figure, emperor, king, leadership, guardianship, I mean, which is in the end something like leadership. And then we have the last card, the Three of Coins. Okay. So with the outcome of your energy update is, yeah, I see it fully connected to this one. Yeah, like the win-win outcome you have here in the Three of Coins is always a situation where you are in teamwork with people, and it's that kind of a teamwork where everyone has a win-win situation. And everyone has his own place in the team. Like one of those people is inventing the project, the other and is writing about it, like making all the plans. Another one is making all the calls and put it into action, and calling all the people who are then producing the thing. And nowadays we also have like people in the marketing who market then the thing in the end, and but all of those people we need to interact and to in the best sense we have a win-win situation with all of them. Everyone benefits from this collaboration, but I see you very clearly standing in your leadership. Here you have to make the decision of if you still want to do things by yourself and let yourself be a victim of this other devils. Maybe you are working in a company. It's just an example of someone working in a company and having a boss, and the boss is always demanding work and is saying what to do, but maybe in a bit more toxic way, or at least maybe you feel maybe the boss is not a toxic boss, but you have a boss. And some people have the feeling they don't want someone above themselves. They want to work with people, but they don't want to have a boss who tells them what to do and when to do it. And maybe you should step out of this kind of entanglement with this boss and employee situation, and step out there and do your own thing, build your own company, or put yourself out on the market and see what happens. And Spirit is clearly talking about this book business here. Maybe you're already working in this field, or you're supposed to, and then Spirit is saying, get out of this chaos, that whatever the chaos is for you at the moment, this devil energy, step out of it and remember kind of your thread, remember it, grab onto your life thread. The red thread in life is always there, it's never gone, it's not something that someone can take away. The devil energy is always an energy that is putting us in some kind of fog where we are not seeing the important things anymore. They are always around, but we stop seeing them, and we start to follow another thread. Maybe we could call this thread then a dark thread. Maybe it's a black, dark thread, or a thread that is leading us to all of different addictions in life. And we need to find our inner thread, our purpose. Again, a thread is always an indication of purpose, and it can be a business purpose, a job purpose, that then, if we follow it, is also leading us to prosperity, to wealth, to better friendships, less toxic relationships, and fulfillment in any aspect, however we picture it for ourselves. But I do see an indication here. You are involved a lot with people, maybe with a lot of people, or at least with some kind of boss or team leader. that is making it hard for you to work freely and to follow your own passion, and maybe you need to destroy that somehow, get out there and kind of jump into the unknown and look like this little innocent squirrel here is jumping on this road here, on this path, out of the blue, to the surprise of the other people, the other children here, and is kind of facing. It seems that the squirrel and the wolf are kind of jumping both towards each other, but the squirrel is starting to jump into the wolf to become this wolf energy, the leadership, the guardianship, and to take on the lead. Maybe in your company there's a position and now it's open to apply for a more leadership position. Maybe there's a thing in the company you work for, if you're not self-employed, and yeah, now you have maybe your old boss will go, or is gone, or is about to go, and the new job will be offered to you. Could also be, and you just need to trust that you can do it, and then you can end all the chaos in the company, and by you taking the lead. And here you have clarity, strong clarity here, and you can lead the team, or you can build your own team. And maybe you don't feel comfortable with leader position. Maybe it's not necessarily talking about you being a boss over other people, but being a boss of your own life. In the end, we all need to get to a point where we lead ourselves. Yeah. And the Two of Wands, again, is, I like it that it's, most of the time it's a bit serious card, where a person stands in between two options, in between two wands. One of the wands is giving the opportunity to go out into the world, and the other one is saying, okay, stay safe, stay here, find work here. And both of those wands are good. It's not saying that one of those options is bad. It's just that you need to figure it out yourself. You just need to figure out if you want to go out there, or if you want to stay where you are and be and deal with things you already know, which can be a good thing if that's what you want and if that's what you need. You know, sometimes in times of chaos we need stability, but sometimes we need to get completely out of situations like that and find our own way and take the risk. And here I think you are in a moment where there's some judgment call made. Maybe someone is kind of firing your old boss, and then you are taking in the new position of the boss, or you yourself have this epiphany that some kind of thing has happened here from the divine. The divine will come into your life at this point here when you try to make this decision of what to do. Maybe to leave the company or to stay, could be something like this. Or I don't think it's necessarily talking about a love situation here. I think it's mostly talking about a job situation, a career move in this reading. And there's some kind of judgment call here, and the old parts that used to sleep for a long time now, maybe the skills of being a leader that you suppressed to make yourself be a part of a group of people and to fit in to the group. But then here with this judgment call you get the chance, those things are waking up again in you, and you are getting the chance to get out there and show everyone how it's done in a better way, in a more kinder way. Yeah, that's what I see here for you. And if you do that, in the end, you will have a true win-win situation here, and it's all about leadership here, taking on your red thread here. And in the end, Spirit is confirming this twice here. You will have a win-win situation in a team work situation. Everyone will be happy here, but only if you take care of yourself and your own needs first. And destroy the villain here. Yeah, it's a very clear reading, and I hope you enjoyed it, and you can leave me a comment always. You can also give me ideas in the comments for some topics you want to have other readings in the future, and you can always give me a thumbs up and like, and I hope I will see you in your next reading, and until that I hope you have a great day and a wonderful week. So see you in my next reading. Bye bye.